don't want no scrubs.
Hey, no. Hey,
No.
hey, in memory of Matumbo. Remember the Matumbo did this when he brought
ah.
shots. So we'll do this.
Why does Darren's finger look so bendy?
Don't make me pull up one of my fingers. All right.
No fingers were
You
hurt.
you should just start this video.
I have started it. That's what I'm saying. We
Oh
already
boy.
started.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
This
that's
is gonna
enough.
be- no.
Rest-
Yeah. One finger to rule them all.
Rest in peace, Matumbo. All right.
No more playing with your fingers, boys.
Oh boy. We're not going to get started off like
You'll
that.
finger it out.
No.
That goes to strong.
No.
Yeah.
See, I'm not the one canceling our show this week.
No, not it happens.
Censors. All right. I'm Darren with Arbitrage Trade. This is After the Bell. It is after Wednesday's bell. And my guests are, of course, in the top right, who's yawning for some reason. I guess maybe it's because he just woke up. He didn't even try to hide it, just right there. We got Daniel Hopwood.
Life is life.
But see, it's because those institutional guys.
Royce kept me up late. That's all I gotta say.
No, it's the institutional guys
boy.
that stay up all night with the ladies and the alcohol and all that. Right? That's what it is.
Lady boys, watch out.
The ladies and the alcohol. That's like the most boomer story ever.
We're trying to veer. We're trying to veer away again. All right. And the bottom left is the banker who thinks he owns the world. At least he has it behind him. That is Josh Morgan, JPM. And then of course we have Royce, Mr. Quant, Mr. Know Everything.
Only
Yes,
for
he didn't deny it.
duration of time.
And that is our boss, and of course, the guy who started this whole thing at Arbitrage Trade, which has helped many people over the years. I have to give you some information, though, and that is that we are not financial advisors. That includes Royce, and this is not financial advice. This information provided is sheerly for educational, we hope, and entertainment, we hope, purposes only. Please only consult an investment professional before taking any financial decisions. So there were a lot of decisions that were definitely made this week, I would think, as soon as all the crap started coming down out of the sky, literally. And we finally did get a little bit of a pullback. It's still not the Black Swan event, or if it is, we won't know until later if it is the beginning of it. But of course, you know, the person who scripts up kind of the skeleton of what we follow by is the institution. For some reason, we gave him that responsibility. And
hey, I tried to give it to you, and you didn't seem to want to take the baton.
I'm not complaining. The first. It's not as fun unless you do it, and then I can make fun of it.
That's fair.
That's true. Yeah. So Daniel's first section, if you will, is that the greatest trader of all time. So why in the world are you talking about Congress and Nancy Pelosi here? Is that who you're talking about?
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I have many opinions on that, but I'll read you guys a quote, and you can tell me if you can figure out who the author of this quote is. So. October, yes. October. This is one of the peculiarly dangerous months to speculate in stocks. The other months are July, January, September, April, November, May, March, June, December, August, and February.
That's beautiful.
So you're asking who said that?
Though, so like.
So yeah, I mean we do see notes, and that means that we read it. So yes, please tell us who it is.
Good old Mark Twain.
Mark Twain, yes, he had so many good quips. That's a good one. Yeah. So every day of the week, especially. Well, hello.
Yeah.
What is that?
Come on in.
Those are alerts.
What is that?
That's GBP JPY saying a buy entry alert was actually firing. If you're using Arbitrage Trade Assist, you got a nice alert to let you know when it's time to potentially buy and sell. So
if people were watching this live, if we were on Twitch already, then they could go, yeah, all right.
Oh no,
Royce, I just gotta say, how do you listen to that awful sounding doorbell every time an alert goes off?
I'm never in my office, and if I'm literally down the hall anywhere in the office, I hear it go off, and I'm running to my computer to go, oh.
Okay.
All right. So to sum up what you were saying there before we were interrupted, where we should invest. And by the way, if you're watching this, remember it's recorded, so that does not apply to when you're watching this.
Yes.
Daniel, is you're basically what you're saying is just it's volatile. It's time for everything to be volatile, especially this month, but maybe for the next, at least up until the end of the year, probably, and then maybe until the end of 2025. So I think that quote actually does apply, because every person I've seen on financial TV is basically saying that is that, well, let's get to 2025, and then certain things actually come online in 2025, which also can make it rough then. So there is no safe time. You just have to be right now, be very agile in between events as we see it. But of course, Royce will tell us, and I'll let him say it. But it's always a big question of, does the news drive the stocks, or does the stocks create the news? So, and if you break that down, what I'm saying is, news, is it being created just to justify where the stock market is already going to go? So, what's your opinion on that, Royce?
Well, I will say, since I've actually in my teenage years worked at a newspaper, they actually print both stories. So when you're getting a new president, they say this person won, that person won, and whichever one wins, that's the ones they start distributing. The rest are burned.
Yep.
So
I actually had that.
Be first. You want to be first out there.
Well, it's like in the national championship game. I forget what year it was, but the Tigers were Memphis Tigers basketball was playing for the championship against. Was that the year they did Kansas? I want to say it might. Yeah, I guess it was.
Yep.
But they printed up bumper stickers for both,
Yep.
and when Memphis did not win, I still put, because they'd already made them, I put a bumper sticker for the Tigers on the back of mine like a dummy. But yeah, I get what you mean, that especially when it comes to press. Although now with digital, you still have to write it up. I guess
you still have to have both copies,
cut and paste,
okay,
or publish the right one. So yeah, no problem. Anything else you want to talk about there, Josh, before we move on, as far as just the volatility and that we're in a crazy world right now, especially crazy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, volatility is key. I mean, you got to think, markets do not like uncertainty. And if you think about all aspects of our lives right now, you can go down the list, like financial uncertainty in the leadership, because we're in an election cycle. We've got literally national security concerns, war concerns, might be on the cusp of World War III. And then that triggers uncertainty in even just something as transportation. So I mean, you can go down the list of everything that's important in your life, and there's literally nothing concrete or nothing that we can say okay, this is probably going to happen, or we're going in this direction. And when you factor that in, and then you include October, we're in for some fun.
Yeah, I did hear that today. I heard that on CNBC today. Is that they were admitting that, okay, October, we'll talk about it, but we don't want to talk about it, and then we'll talk about after October, which means
wake me up when September ends.
Yeah, and October.
It's over, Royce. Get ready.
I'm not waking me up 2 days ago.
But let's recap here what all has gone on. We've got a longshoreman strike, which is going to affect a lot of things. It could also reinflate some prices because of out of stocks and things not getting being refilled.
If you don't have any supply, there's nothing to sell. So actually,
so you'll charge more though for what you do have.
Yeah,
you'll charge more. Then you throw in another inflation possibility is, if I know that a lot of oil has been created and there's heavy backstock of it, if you will, but all it takes is an errant missile here or there in the Middle East, and it's going to shoot up again. So I've heard everything, and this is how crazy the financial media is they'll say anywhere from, it could go down in the 50s to it might be back up to 100 again. So I mean, it's you know how much I love the narrative of these guys when they get on TV and talk. But so we do have that. That's another possible inflationary thing, but it's also something that is forward looking. It's not going to be instant, So once we get out of this scary couple of months, then that might start taking effect. Now we've got the rate cuts. It was 50. They're talking about 0.25 now. That's more likely. The last two, which would be 1 point total. That also could have an issue as far as pricing goes. So, I mean, they've got the funds have so much to play with, so many narratives they can run with. I know what else did I miss out? There was something else going on. I mean, oh yeah, besides the election, but there was
Iran, Israel.
Yeah, just the whole Middle East. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, this has got to be the most, unless I didn't keep up with it when I was a kid, but it seems like the most things are going on right now that could totally turn the world on its
You just weren't
side.
as connected. They barely had invented the wheel back then.
That's true. There's social media and all that. Everything wasn't just instantaneous on what you do and don't know, and it was more filtered, I guess. But well, we could do a whole session about that as far as being filtered. It came up in the debate last night.
So Darren, imagine if you had TikTok during World War II. Like, your life would have been crazy.
Mm-hmm. You know, that is one thing that I've talked about before is that, I mean, it's like you forget about the things that are still going on, like Ukraine, Russia. And you're getting reminders of it because we're sending money off still to Ukraine, and we can't even now fund. They announced today that the Homeland, what is it? Emergency, what is it called?
FEMA.
FEMA, thank you. Jeez. They are asking for money because they don't have money now.
Right at the beginning of hurricane season, isn't that convenient?
To take care of all of the people, and it's like they still haven't gone in and picked up all these people. There's like possibly dead bodies out in the middle of North Carolina.
So Katrina again, got it.
Exactly. So it's just crazy. Everything that's going on right now is crazy.
Too soon for me. Still a little salty.
Yeah, I guess that's right. For those who don't know, Royce is from New Orleans. That's why he cooks really well. So let's move on. As far as this goes, this also could affect what we're talking about next, which is gold. Gold continues to actually, it's kind of like it's hit a ceiling now, hasn't it, Daniel? What's going on?
I mean, it's actually just surpassed the euro to become the second largest reserve asset after the US dollar for, banks around the world. And this, demand has, we've kind of seen the narrative for a while of people pulling away from the US dollar for trading and whatnot. But, now we might actually be seeing it, kind of actually start to play out a little bit. It was, I think, let me look at my stats. In 2002, central bank reserves were about 70% the central bank reserves, their reserves were made up of the mostly the US dollar at about 70% of the reserves. And now 12 years later, it's down to 58% of their reserves. So if you just do like rough math, the US dollar would be less than 20% of bank reserves in 50 years. So, that's like, wow,
we're dead by then.
I am probably not.
You sound like a politician.
I could maybe.
Royce, are you running for
above 40 is dead by then? How about that?
Yeah, are you running for an office? Because that's the way I think these things that have been put in place have been done. It's like, oh, well, we'll be dead. Just go ahead and take all the money now that our great grandchildren are going to have to still pay for. All right. So, Royce, what does this mean? I mean, what could this mean to exchange, to just overall world economy? What is this leading to? It looks like we're following a path towards something.
Yeah, a lot of people tend to think that they will unseat the U.S. dollar. That's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And the main reason is the World Bank. That is the reserve currency for the entire world. And mm-hmm. as to Daniel's point, gold is the second largest now to the euro. The euro was introduced about 15, 20 years ago, something like that, to basically get in there. So basically, does that mean the euro's failing now? Does that mean what's the implications? Why are people departing the euro in favor of gold? Right? There's a lot of stuff going over in the Middle East. There's a lot of stuff going over there in Europe and Asia. But from what I'm seeing, there's also a mass exodus from these other currencies to the dollar, just like with gold, but they're doing it very metered so that way it's not as noticeable. And you have lots of off-ramps to basically hide that you're switching to the dollar. Just in the cryptocurrency side, there's something called Tether. Tether, basically, it's backed 100% by the dollar. So if you're dumping all of your money into Tether, you're effectively still investing in the dollar to still be there. So with the different off-ramps of cryptocurrencies, the different off-ramps of gold, precious metals, even hiding the money in oil, you have many options. But at the end goal, the end result is that the U.S. dollar is still going to be king. And looking at the chart I'm looking at, gold dollar. Just began a brand new uptrend on the daily time frame. And this is usually good for about a 3 to 6 month ride, which means buckle up everybody else, but the U.S. dollar is not going anywhere.
So Royce, just to add to your point, I remember seeing this in the news the other day, and I just looked it up to make sure. So Tether has now hit a record 120 billion in reserves, which is insane because, right, it's not like, a crypto that you're trading for its like potential asset appreciation. It's like a stable coin, right? So it's just like essentially them holding money for people to trade with.
It's like the stable coin.
Yeah. There's USDT.
The biggest one is USDT, which is the US dollar.
Yep. And USDT, but all these different derivatives thereof the dollar, it's still at the end of the day the dollar, right? Can't get away from.
Gotcha. It's just crazy that you're not,
but they're not going anywhere.
That's a lot of money not making money, just sitting there. So that's crazy.
Oh no, it's definitely making money.
How's
that? Explain.
Standby letters of credit and all kinds of stuff. Like, oh yeah, this is here, but I'm going to use it there. Double up. If you can leverage an asset, go for it.
Yeah, exact leverage. Yes. Okay. Gotcha. A banker. Anything to add on there? I know, like I said, he's put a lot of facts and figures here, but anything you want to throw in?
No, I mean, it's just really, you got to think like other financial markets in the world have strengthened. Like when they introduced the euro, it was a kind of an interesting time, and everybody wasn't sure if it was actually going to work. And it seems to, now that they've joined all of these different nations, and it seems to have, because I think that's the second one behind us, or it might be behind gold now, but I think as far as foreign markets investing specifically into currencies, I think euro is the one right behind it. I don't know if it's right there with gold or something, but just other economies, other financial markets have strengthened. We're not, we're not as strong. We're not as stable. Again, going back to my point earlier, everything seems to be up in the air as far as the U.S. economy is concerned. So we don't have that stability that everyone ran to. We used to be, the USD used to be more stable than gold. Now it's kind of shifted. And so that's why all of these financial markets are all these central banks are kind of diversifying. And that's why we're seeing a slight dip, well, I guess it's not slight, it's 70 to 58% is a pretty significant number. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of why you're seeing all of that change and that shift is because the dollar is just not as stable. And I think everybody, can feel that.
Gotcha. Hey, Daniel, did you notice U.S. reserves for gold? I mean, did you happen to see any information on that?
What do you, like how much U.S. dollars are in reserves?
Yeah.
Not in a dollar amount, no.
I got you. You can do the quick math.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Royce could. All right. Let me
text my group chat.
Yeah. While you're doing that, we'll go ahead and move on to. We kind of touched on it earlier, at least I did, because of just everything that's going on. But this strike that's going on, the leader of the union is pretty vocal, isn't he? I don't know if you've heard any of the of the sound bites, but boy, he looks like he's going to hold on for a while. And what they're asking for, and they actually got, I believe, is double salary, and that still wasn't good enough. They wanted more. So
if they asked for double salary and didn't take it,
I think they're going for like a 70% raise over the next like 5 or 10 years. I forget the exact time.
If somebody offers me a 40% increase in my salary, I will be like, what in the world do you need me to do? Like, yes, please, and thank you.
So hold on, where is it? Oh man,
Royce, what do I got to do for a 50% increase in my salary?
I was
marketing, lots of marketing. And that closed new sales.
Got it. Make show more controversial.
Right?
Affiliate. Asian version. All right. So
go to Korea, slap the emperor, and come back.
It should be a lot.
That's a really weird CIA mission.
Slap him and run away. It's like something out of Monty Python. Just
Rochambeau and then
All right, so I left my conspiracy hat at home, but it's always on, as you know. So all these events. Now, there's been talk, of course, that there won't be a presidential election if this or if that. If we're in such a bad state, even if it's just for a month, that they're not going to hold an election. I don't know what rule it is. I guess it's in the Constitution. I don't know.
It's in the Constitution. It's in the Constitution. If we are physically at war during the actual election cycle, they can choose to not change the person in charge, which basically the conflict has to end, and then once it has ended, they basically revoke. It's sort of like a mandate that no one be elected.
So
wow, that's a great way to create a dictatorship.
Yep.
Who is they? Is that Congress? Is it Congress that then decides that it can't be just?
It's sort of like our mandates, like the COVID mandate. No one voted on that. They just said, okay, for the national security, for national health, this is what we're doing.
Well, who? I mean, is it our defense secretary? I mean, who's the one that says, okay, I'm sorry.
The deep. Come on, you know the answer to this.
Well, I know the answer to that, yes. But I mean, if you look at everything that's happened and the timing of everything and the way things kept getting pushed off, I'm sorry, I got my hat firmly on. And that something's really leading up to, not to be scary, but it is Halloween month.
That's spooky. That's spooky.
It is pretty. Foil hats have straps now. our hats are hurricane proof. Nothing can.
I don't know, man. I feel like there's a cat 10 headed towards the U.S. is what it feels like. I don't know, man. This is kind of nuts. Everything that's going on.
Just please no more hurricanes for me, please.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Buckle up your hat.
Yeah.
But so anyway, what I was talking about is the labor unions. This seems like the timing of this just seems suspect, and it's a month out. It's almost like they planned it that, hey, a month away from the elections, let's go on strike. Hey, a month from the elections, let's Israel increase what they're doing. A month from election, I mean, just you could add in the blanks there.
A month before we do our rate cut, let's let the market tank a little bit so that way everyone.
That's right. The 0.5. You're right. No, everything, and everything is this close to the elections. It just really, really is kind of scary, and that's all I'll say. What
I find funny is that there, in the history of war, in the history of nations, I have never seen inflation increase during a conflict. Because you're spending more, because you are doing more, it deflates. That's literally what got us out of the Great Depression, where inflation was almost at 50%, right? So, yeah, war could potentially help GDP across the globe.
Yep.
It is as
someone who's eligible to get drafted, I hope not.
Go Joe.
Good thing I run. Good thing I run really slow, and they definitely just have me like fly drones.
And you're all the way in another country. Yes.
They'll just call you Cookie. You get to cook for everybody.
So
I'm a horrible.
So your number there, Daniel, was it's going to cost $4 billion a day. I mean, that's tough. We're in day 2, I think. So
yeah. Have you guys been to any of the local surplus stores like Sam's, Costco, the wholesale?
I have heard.
They're empty. It's like literally it looks post-COVID. Like the March of 2020, if you went to any store, you can't find toilet paper.
Right. It's Costco. It's Costco COVID all over again. And I'm waiting to see when you go in if they have that little list of limit of this, limit of this, limit of this.
You can't. Yep.
I remember that. Up. But you can stand closer to 6 feet this time. With your bags of toilet paper.
And in doing so, you get rid of the inventory too. So like, hey, if sales were slow, guess what? This was just what you needed to get everyone to buy.
Supply and demand, though, is going to say that's going to increase costs, though. I mean, inflation's going to happen.
I said, you got to have something to sell. If you have nothing to sell, you can't increase the cost.
Well, yeah. If you're talking about volume, yes, volume, yeah.
It's like, wait, I will sell you this
specific to the item, though. That's going to be
options. Sell options on the things that they're going to buy.
Okay. Yeah. we won't beat that one up, but we're definitely going to probably be talking about it next week or in the weeks to come up till the election and
may it last until Christmas. Oh.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. I pictured Jim Carrey and the Grinch.
I'm getting nothing for Christmas.
I would say coal, but no, that's bad. You're not supposed to have coal.
I would love to see Kamala and Biden saying, "I'm getting nothing for Christmas."
You get a battery pack.
You guys see the UK shut down their last coal burning power plant?
Nice.
Yep.
Hey, everybody's going green.
How many CO2 machines did they put out to pull that dangerous CO2 out of the air too? I mean, it's getting crazy out there. Trees are nice. Let's move on to China. Move on to China.
Is nicer.
Yeah. It's like, let's suck the CO2 from the trees into this machine. All right, so 114 billion of stimulus. You said stock stimulus. China is Z just Z G Z G
Z G
Z G. Don't get me. Don't get me. President Z. All right. Anyway,
President G.
It really wasn't. Yes. Different letter. Anyway, so he's putting all this money into the stock market directly. Is he somehow getting this money to people who are to the banks, their financial institutions that pretty much are just sending it over to the U.S. to keep our stock market pumped up right now? What's going on? I mean, Daniel.
So this is like in COVID when the Fed propped up the U.S. stock market, right? They're flooding with liquidity, going in and buying, and them propping up the stock market with this amount of money is only for the stock market. This doesn't include them reducing mortgage rates, them easing the real estate rules there, so people can go buy second homes and whatnot. And the market is now in China, when we took note of this, up 15%, and it had its best day since 2008. And if you look at the Chinese stock market, it's just been poo-pooed on for more than a year. And I kind of look at it and wonder, like, is China a look into our future of they had their economic slowdown? They have the government now pumping to make the market rebound, and I don't like, I know there was some analyst that came out the other day saying that, this is the best economy he's ever seen. But I think, as average people with boots on the ground, it sure doesn't feel that way. When I talk to my friends, they sure don't feel that way. And, I wonder if with everything going on, if we're poised for a similar outlook.
Yeah, like you said, it's
up
definitely
and to the right anymore. Hold on.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
No. I'm saying we go down first, and then like China's ahead of us by a year or two.
Oh yeah, no,
we're gonna repeat what
you're saying we're going down, which is you never say we're going down.
Hey, I'm not betting against America like Warren Buffett said. Never do that. I'm just saying, might be a little turbulent for a little bit.
Got it.
This is what institutes say. We'll admit that it's going to go down because we know it will, but it's still going to.
Hey! If you buy and hold, it'll always go up, and you'll always be right. Right? Even a broken clock is right twice a day, Darren.
All right. Thank you, Buffett.
Until you find a company that have poor leadership and they go under.
That's why you buy the S&P 500 index.
What? AMC? What? Oh, sorry.
Index funds. They are idiot proof.
We're eliminating debt left and right. All right. So
instead of us looking at is this our future? China really needs to go and look at our past, because the things that they've done with this, like the People's Bank of China, what they changed were things like the reserve requirements for commercial banks. And we did that a while back. And how many times have we been on the verge of a financial crisis or a banking crisis that the government has had to come in and bail out? That's happened more times than we can count. And then you make it easier, like cutting mortgage rates, lowering, down payment assistance, that kind of things. Think about what happened. We keep talking about like 2008, and we had this massive housing crisis because of things exactly like that. And so while this is going to be, a shot in the arm to their economy, I kind of feel like this is going to they're going to end up falling on their face because of a lot of this.
I feel you've heard the mantra, too big to fail. They're too big to fail.
Well, you get a shot in the arm, but a bunch of people. Your body is dying, then that shot in the arm is not going to help. It's just because it'll stay right there and just fix that part, in my opinion. But we'll see.
But you call keeping them comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Josh, you said 2008. Gee, what else happened around then? And here's there's so this is the it's the biggest day on record since 2008, is what you said as well, Daniel. So, I mean, we just keep hearing this time period of 2006 to 2008. I've been saying that for months now in the Fed reports, that everything goes back to that little area of time on the charts, and just people keep ignoring it.
How many derivatives they dig up this time, though?
Oh, they got so many derivatives that are just, I think in fact, I think they just eliminate them. However you can do that. I'm beginning to wonder. It's like they just get rid of. Okay, it's okay. We're just gonna eliminate it. They're not there anymore. But so you think there could be a stimulus here, Josh or Daniel, that we're gonna follow that same path, that we're gonna go down and then we're gonna get a stimulus like we did recently? Okay, I was going to say, with as much money as we owe, the debt, everything else, and I could imagine the outrage.
When has that ever stopped us?
Yeah, right?
I know.
Right?
I know, but people are starting to get a little smarter, I think. I don't know.
Money printer go burr.
People might, but we don't vote on that. The government just does it, right?
That's true. The deep state must deep state. We'll just
as one must.
The Fed must Fed. The banks must be saved, whether through direct bailout or what I call a reverse bailout, like this bank term fund lending program was. Let's move on to you have a few things. You have some dates for us, right, Daniel? About this bumpy road. Just kind of put it all out there between now and November. Just kind of summarize all this. Then we'll move on to the crayons. But give us those dates of concern between now and is it the 4th, November 4th? What is it this year?
Yep. So we got this
right.
Friday and November 1st, our non-farm payroll, right? So we're going to see how labor markets have potentially been affected by the recent and expected future rate cuts. Got October 10th for inflation print. We got October 21st for earnings of all the big tech companies. So we can see if the AI trade is still alive or dead. And then November 6th is the day after the election, where I'll find out if my Bitcoin is worth anything anymore. And so I thought something that was interesting when reading about, all these different kind of like What?
I'll buy all your Bitcoin for $10.
Yeah, that might be what it's worth by then.
I'll give you 15.
Yeah, all right. Now we got a market. So, when these kind of like, macro news, data events happen in markets, on average, they now move 15 basis points more than they did pre-COVID. So like, whether it is, more people trading on just like smaller events or algorithms being more finely tuned to trade on that to, make more profit, markets are just inherently more volatile than they were just a few years ago. And then, with all that, you can't forget that, we've mentioned it, but there's 2 wars going on in the world. So there's kind of a lot riding on this next month.
Just a little. And then don't forget about the war that we have here in the country between left and right. So, and
well, supposedly that'll be decided.
Yeah. Okay. I have something I want to sell you as well.
Allegedly.
It's right. All right. So let's move on. That's enough of the negative stuff. Let's talk about something very, very, very. No, we'll wait for that. Let's. I forget which chart you may have there, Sir Royce, for us today. Let's move on over there. Actually, let's just go here and talk about crayons and charts from Arbitrage After the Bell, hosted by Royce.
We got DXY up here, but DXY wasn't the one we were going to be talking about. I thought we were going to be talking about. You guys remember?
We were looking.
I went away. Was it Baba?
We were looking. Baba's going to be what I'm picking for the wager, which we'll get to.
Oh, that's right. First off, I was looking at Intel right before we got here.
Just whatever you want to pick.
All right. So Intel on the daily time frame broke out like we said it would at about $20. Got all the way up to about $24. So hopefully you made about a 20% profit before we started seeing those red dots roughly around $23.94, saying it was about time to go. And hopefully you left because now we got a red X. Typically, when you break over the black line in the arbitrage band trading system, there's a retest. So basically, you break over the moving average. Also notice that black line was about to run out of band, so it had no choice but to go up. And now basically we're trying to see if it will hold this line. If it's able to hold the $22 range, which is about where our compass line is sitting, $22, 22.06, basically allows us to get more out of this trend. For the sell trend to succeed, notice that on our dashboard, on this daily chart, we have a 28.83. And this is for the sell that's currently in place to continue to be a sell to basically make this Elliott wave the next hump. It's saying that Intel could potentially get all the way up to 28.83 longer term. Looking back at our 4-hour chart, there is a little bit of turbulence on the way because we do see it's trying to go down, but we do see that the mean line of this guy is about 21.70, which is really close to $22. Looking at this guy on a macro scale on this particular time frame, we also see that we're on a crash course. The pink line for Intel, because it has been falling for so long, basically the pink line cannot leave the outer edge of this band, just like we saw in the arbitrage band when we're on the daily time frame. Because of that, these candles should be drawn like a magnet to almost $27, $28, which would satisfy that $28 roughly and 58 cents that it's saying that the apocalypse band needs in order for the sell trend to continue. Once it gets there, it's literally anybody's game. But if you're playing it from here to there, that's close to about a 30% gain if you are brave enough to enter the pool. That's all I got for crayons and charts today.
All right, crayons and charts with Royce Wells. I tell you, I just can't see it climbing up that high. What was the there was a merger thing, right, going on?
I have no idea, but you can't break the math.
That's all I know.
That's all I know.
I know.
How many times, Josh? We haven't broken it yet.
I know.
But eventually get up to 28. Wow. I mean, especially, and you know about this chip issue, by the way. It's we probably could do a whole section on it. I won't because we're about to wrap up. But there in North Carolina, there is it crystals that are specific to making chips that it's the only place in the world you can get. And right now, and we talked about end of the world stuff, but it's flooded.
Stuff. Yikes!
It's flooded. And it's never flooded up there in the mountains. It's for some reason it's in this exact area where it's the only place in the world that can be sourced for something that is needed to make chips. So it's just I mean it's just crazy. I mean you guys can Google after this, but it is.
Did you hear about like Azure and Amazon Cloud and Google Cloud as well as DigitalOcean all starting to sell GPUs instead of CPUs? So people can stand up their own AI servers in the cloud.
Huh.
They're literally making a new market out of nothing.
I think I want a Starlink as well,
So
Royce.
Which ticker is that? Because I'm going to buy.
Right?
We are not financial advisors. We do not get financial advice.
But hey,
I don't have to buy. I'm going to do it.
They're
With the
striking
craziness,
on
though, I'm serious. I mean, I don't know how much those Starlinks are, but man, at some point, it's like if our grid gets attacked or whatever, it'd be nice to have that as a backup, just like a generator, to access what we do every day.
Story. I have two. I have two.
Go ahead.
No, I have two. I have two Starlinks.
Oh, I thought you said stories.
I thought you said
you have two
story.
Starlinks. Okay.
No,
So everybody party at Roy.
So we're good. If everything goes complete, we will still have after the bell.
When the missiles start coming in, everybody at Royce's bring BYOB.
I'll ship one to you, Daniel, but don't let it get stuck in customs.
Sounds good.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, come on.
Right.
Singapore probably has fine relations with
I'm sure they do.
We'll go ahead
Until,
and get
he's
this.
elected to be over defense and stuff. And
I mean, our government wouldn't even pay for Starlink to be distributed into North Carolina area that possibly may have saved some lives. But I digress. Let's. I just put that stinger out there right at the end of this. Just that little stinger out there. All right. So, but it's time to celebrate. Need to pop the stuff.
Of course, it's time to celebrate. Let's see how happy he is.
Yes, I know. I'm actually a winner for once.
We can fix that. I need to talk to you after this.
Oh boy. It was his highest day. It was his lowest day. I'm a poet. Yes, the stock last week was Lululemon. So that's what makes it even especially gratifying is I won.
He's
lavishing on Daniel's pick.
Relishing. Are you
monologuing?
You're monologuing.
I won Juan de Abril. I won on a pick by the millennial. That was awesome. That's you can't get better than that. So
hopefully the millennial made money and took profit when we saw the dollar signs. Hopefully.
What also was fun, by the way, is you see I'm ignoring you. Yeah, what also was fun is that it went way up high. It got everybody excited and other little channels this week, and then
but we got dollar signs on Arbitrage Trade.
That macro event.
83. It was time to go.
I saw the red recycle symbol today.
That's not good. That means longer term.
I think it was the 4 hour. I'd have to go back and look at it. So anyway, I did win. That let me pull up the scoreboard because I definitely shouldn't let that not be shown. There it is. So we have quants are up 2. Quants are up 2 to 1 to 1, so the apes are on the board now.
And notice it's
next
up
week
and to the right.
it is up into the. You're absolutely right, and it's at the very top, so that means it's only down. So hopefully it'll just go down just a little bit. If it has to go down, actually it could stick there. So for a while,
you want
before
to
coming back down.
Top up there.
Is this the shoulder or the head? Which is
about the shorts and lemons.
It's an outlier.
That's enough of gloating. Enough of gloating. But apes, I took all my poo and brought it back into my nest. So let's go to what we're going to do next week, which I did select Baba because so much is going on in China. Daniel and I have talked a lot about China, and we're going to talk about it again after this for our, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Our deep dive with Daniel is a lot about China, a lot. Plus our blog this week, you can go look at it and see some Q&As and all that good stuff. So we'll go back here to the crayons and see what Royce has got. I see a red.
Royce, do you think it's going to go up?
He doesn't believe in any of his charts anymore. Yes.
That one's tough, guys. That one's real tough. That red cross that you guys are seeing on that screen usually means that basically probability feels that it has ran out on this time frame completely. So seeing that means there's going to be a pullback. That doesn't mean it's going to go all the way back to wherever it was or go all the way back down to like $7 or $80, but it has to at least get back inside that red line probably in the next 2 months or so. So about back down to $115 is not that bad. The great thing about this is we do have, this is a very good pick. We have about a $20 range. So that means each person gets 5 if they want it. Starting at about 120, going all the way down to about 100.
120 to 100. Okay.
So see, those are numbers I can deal with at 6 a.m.
That's $5.
Not 685, 54 to 623, 62.
Said Hut. All right. So
we're sending you back to continue learning.
All right. So and plus, I mean, I see those dots up there, Royce. Because I am trained to look for those stop and reverse dots. Yeah, he's trying to hide it now.
No, I'm just saying they're still there. They're still there. And the pink line is technically not to the top of the band, so there's nothing forcing it to technically turn, except that we noticed that it went out of probability.
Yeah. Okay, I see it's still.
And notice in the buy window, it's saying that basically for the buy trend to continue, which it can because it's here, it has to go back and visit 101.56. The candles are too far from the band. So just how fast it does it is the question. So yeah, pick your range, pick your poison, and go from there.
All right. We'll get us back to us. I am going to, because I get to pick, and I'm definitely going to pick myself first because I never get this chance. And Royce may be picked last, or was it next to last? I forget last week, but it's the only chance I get.
You did only not chance I get to go first. Exactly, next to last.
Because I was pitiful enough in my request. I'm going to take 115 to 110.
Okay. And who's next?
Oh, that's right. Jay, I hate this favorites thing. So I'm just going to go with the ape.
Stacking the deck. Okay. So
I knew that was coming.
Teams have been made. These are now the Hunger Games. Daniel, you're with me.
I'm okay with that. I could use some support.
Wait, go back to 15 minute.
Go to 15 minutes? Okay, hold on.
No, he wants more.
But yeah, man, the chart's got to tell a story.
Woo!
Oh boy,
that was an impressive 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna turn off some stuff just to clear up some of our line issues.
Wow, I was gonna take all you got, Darren. You got 115, 110.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take right below that 110 to 105.
Okay.
And you see how they're pushing us to the extremes here, Daniel.
I was going to say the apes have the middle.
But it's also pushing us to the extremes.
I don't see
it's also the smallest channels.
I don't see it breaking through Pulse. So like,
yeah, that's fair.
All right.
That's fair.
So in that Pulse, is that Pulse right at 104? That's what I'm seeing.
Okay.
All right.
That final answer?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So who's next, Darren?
My boss.
Remember. That's all.
Honestly, even though I'm now screwed. Wise pick.
Because I have to hear about it all week. He's in the office with me. You guys aren't.
Since we're doing it that way, are you going Daniel or are you doing myself? I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's you. It's you.
Oh, it's me. Okay, just making sure. I didn't want to, for giggles.
Oh,
I'm going to take 115 to 120.
Oh, it's going to stay.
For giggles.
Up.
For giggles.
He knows something we don't know.
Yeah, he smiled a little too bright when he said that. And I don't think it was because he was tickled. Let's go to our kicks. Kicks and giggles, right? He just said giggles. No kicks.
I did.
Yeah. All right. So that gives you 105 and below, or below 105 for Daniel, the Singaporean. Is that you're still there, right? Or are you somewhere else?
Singapore, or
oh, you can't say, right? You said it was top secret. All right, so they can't find you. Taxes are due. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right. So,
whoa. Royce still pays all my taxes out of my paycheck, I think.
You still get those? Dang it.
Yeah.
I need the HR login. I forgot my password.
You don't have to file them or anything. No, it's not even necessary anymore. Don't file them. Okay, let's wrap this puppy up. It's after 5. So here anyway. It's after what, 4A and where you are, or 6?
Hey,
Daniel.
6 a.m. What's up?
6A. Yeah.
Do you still see the chart? Look at the chart.
Look at the chart.
Look at the chart.
What time frame is this?
Dude, this is the monthly time frame. Baba's about to break out like gangbusters.
I knew you were going to.
Sounds like I'm about to buy some Baba.
That's why he was smiling so big.
Yeah, but here, guys, here's the thing we always have to remember is that it'll often move in a different direction like 3 weeks later. And never the way we want in the week of.
Yeah.
Like I've been right. Like I was very correct about Apple a week too late.
All right.
You were very correct on Lulu. This past
every single one of my picks has hit just like 2 or 3 weeks later.
Yep.
There you go.
I got to learn these lower time
strategy.
frames.
I was going to say I sound like an investment strategy, but we are not
investment advisors. Good investment.
50 minute like this.
So at this point, Royce has declared himself as the outright favorite for next week, and we will reconvene next week to see what happened. Everybody say goodbye.
Had to stack it.
Everybody say goodbye from after the bell from Arbitrage Trade.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Like Mr. Hanky.